Hi there, folks. Often I get asked, how long does it take to make the change? How long will it take for me to get out of this dark place I'm in? And I'd like to share with you a great story. It's called The Hole in the Sidewalk by Portia Nelson. It's a great metaphor for change and what can happen in life. And it begins with chapter 1 of my life. I'm walking down the road. I don't see this hole in the sidewalk and I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It's not my fault. And it feels like forever. It takes a long time, but I eventually get out. Chapter 2 of my life, I'm walking down the very same road. I pretend not to see this hole in the sidewalk and I fall in. Why does this keep happening to me? I'm back in the same place I was before. And again, it takes a long time, but I eventually get out. Chapter 3 of my life, I'm walking down the very same road. I notice this hole. I jump in. I can't help myself. It's a habit. I am accountable. It is my fault for where I am right now. And it takes a much shorter time, but I eventually get out. And chapter 4 of my life, I'm walking down the same road. I notice this hole and I walk around it. And finally, chapter 5 of my life, I take a brand new road. Now I feel this is such a powerful story, and there's so many concepts, but I'll let you decide for yourself what you can get out of it. But as I reflect over the last year, I ask myself, are there any holes I've fallen into, and at what chapter am I in with regards to them? And I find in some cases I might be in chapter 1 or in chapter 2 or in chapter 3, and in some cases I've noticed I've been avoiding them. And finally, in other areas I've taken a totally different road. Now, one thing that I really love about this, there is always a way out. Obviously it's about how long you want to be in those holes, in those places that you're uncomfortable, you're unhappy, or you're angry. And one of the key areas, one of the key aspects to change is to become aware of your own habits and patterns. And this, I want to remind you of the elements of beingness that I spoke about earlier on in the year. And that is, when you're in this dark place, it is about humility. It's about going, well, what can I learn from this scenario I find myself in? And that goes alongside vulnerability, to be open, to feel the discomfort, to feel the pain, and not so much go into the blame and shame, because blame and shame are not agents of change. And that means you've got to walk alongside accountability, which is, what can I do right now to help myself? In other words, it is up to me to get out of this hole right now where I am, regardless of how I got here. And finally, honesty to oneself, and that is, what is my part of where I am now? Now, these are very powerful elements of beingness, and without them, the ability to make the changes, the ability to move on, to find that new road, can be very difficult. Now, what we have really done our best, Dyer and I, over the last year, is to provide you with as many tools as possible. And I'm talking about the work around personality. This is where we help identify the habits and patterns that no longer serve us, as well as identify the strengths that we have, which can help us get out of the hole. We've also looked at what we call heart intelligence, the inner work, the concepts of self-forgiveness, very powerful. The working with gratitude, the working with being able to face ourselves, to face our demons, our fears, and demonize the demons. These have all been connected in one way or another to help with getting ourselves out of the hole and finding ourselves on a brand new road. When you are in this dark place, it is about self-forgiveness. So often we can hammer ourselves and blame ourselves for where we're at. And again, if we're going to make the change, we've got to move forward, because what blame and shame can do when we're blaming and shaming ourselves is we can dig ourselves deeper into the hole. So as we move out of it, one of the great things is to sit and write. And I've discovered that writing for myself, where I write a letter to myself, where I forgive myself for every nasty thing I've done, whatever I have done, and can be really a hard letter to write, but that is where I start working with the concept of self-forgiveness, a very powerful aspect. So yeah, folks, those are just some ideas, and until we chat again, take care and stay aware.